Hello. This is the first time I'm making some kind of a video on the Facebook, so it's an enjoyable experience. Somebody asked me what the clean language is. Clean language is the art of asking conscious questions. Once you master that art, then you can query yourself consciously inside of your mind. What is inside of your mind? It's like a dark forest. And in the middle of the dark forest, there is a path you walk on which leads out of the forest. Out of the forest, there's plenty of light. But when you are in the forest, unless you have some kind of a light source with you, you are just lost and you're going around, and the more you try, the harder it gets. So the clean language process is consciously bringing a drop of light in your forest. Then you bring 2 drops of lights, then 3 drops of lights. And usually after a certain number of drops of lights, you had a kind of a bigger light. Once you have a bigger light, then you kind of look around and see, I'm here. Well, this is the dead end, and this may lead to the exit of the wood. And you start walking, but now you're walking consciously. And it's just a matter of fact of how many light drops you will have. And all of a sudden you're out of the wood. Once you're out of the wood, then you see yourself in a new light. And you make another set of conscious decisions. But this time, you make conscious decisions not to get out of the light, but to find out who you really are and why you're here. Once you figure out who you are and what you are, then you kind of feel it. You get excited, and then you reach the point that you make a direct conscious contact with something which is inside you, and somebody calls it God, somebody calls it soul, somebody calls it field, whatever. But this is something which makes you really happy. And you start remembering things, why you are here. Once you remember why you are here, then you get inspired, and you rapidly discover what excites you the more. And you make such a big progress. You basically something like while you're in the wood, it's like being a caterpillar. Then once you engage putting all these lights there, you kind of confuse. It's like a caterpillar in the cocoon. So you don't move and you kind of confuse. But once you're out of the wood, you are like a caterpillar who became a butterfly. Then you develop your wings. Once you develop your wings, you start flying, and then you choose a flower you would like to smell. Once you're there, you drew this nectar, and then you live a totally different life than a caterpillar who has to fight for the food, be afraid of all kinds of things. You're a totally different world. So I have kind of used this technology and developed by a psychologist called David Groom. He was I think from New Zealand, and he used this technique to heal mentally ill people. It was very effective. It was so amazing that 2 other psychologists from England spent 20 years analyzing him, how the hell he's doing that. And they have developed a process called symbolic modeling. Symbolic modeling is methodology which enables anybody who uses this tool, clean language, with this methodology to map what is going inside your head. Once you know that, you discover which kind of symbols your particular mind uses to code things. And once you know what the symbols are and you see them clearly, then you can consciously change them in a way that you keep those patterns of behavior which suits you, and throw away anything you don't like. So you make conscious decisions. On top of that, I added a little bit more, that once you have this epiphany of knowing what you don't want, you discard this. Then you go and say what I want, and then you develop that in form of a picture which your subconscious mind understands. And this consists of following things: of a smell, of a sight, of a thought, of a sound, of a taste and touch. You code this, and your subconscious mind gets the instructions. You anchor it, then you draw it, because when you draw it on a paper with colors, you bypass your logical mind, which limits you, and you enable your right brain, which is like a connection to the cosmic internet. You ask something and you go there. The bridge in between is your body, and in your body are cells. In cells are DNA, and DNA responds to the human emotions. And if you know what you're doing, you can program whatever you want. And this is the beauty of it. Now, I didn't stop there, because I was mentally ill for 10 years. And I was with doctors, and they tell me, hey, Zoran, Mr. Solaja, they call me, Sholaya, you have incurable disease, it's a lifetime thing, cope with that. And they give me all these pills. You take the pills, and the pills are chemistry. And the chemistry without intelligence. So you take a pill, it calms you down, but it damages other parts of the body. And you live as a vegetable. And they call this cure. What kind of a cure is if I'm living as a vegetable? Or I can eat, but I have constipation, so I cannot poop. I mean, it all doesn't work. So that actually prompted me on a 13-year-old journey to heal myself. And I was forced to explore all kinds of things, starting from meditation, different types of meditations, starting different religions. I was searching in quantum field theory, I was searching in the Bible, I was searching with Buddha teachings, I was searching with Holy Quran, I was searching in the Vedas, I was Buddhism, 3 types of Buddhism. Then alternative healing methods like faster EFT, and then I discovered this clean language thing, which kind of like in 2 hours cured, let's say, 80% of my problems. And then I got hooked, and I realized that this is like a tool. If you use it consciously, it makes miracle. So after plenty of irritations and combination with different things, I developed this. Actually, I not developed. It was revealed to me. I don't know where the hell it's come from. It didn't come from my mind. It come from heart, and I guess it was planted there all the time. And I was inspired to combine this with different things. So I combined this with the best wisdom I was able to find around, like Vedic mantras, or like Neville's imagination technology, the best sayings of Jesus Christ, the Gospel of St. Thomas. This is the lost Gospel in the Muhammadic library. The telnets of the quantum theory. Basically a bunch of stuff. Then I put some astrology in it, and I was studying the influence of the position of the planet on the human conditions, because you have all these waves going around, and in essence we are bathing in a magnetic field. Once I found out that there is a direct correlation with my manias and depressions and the positions of certain planets, I was hooked. I, for instance, find out that whenever the Mercury is going retrograde, I go loopy. And also when a full moon is, I go loopy too. So I didn't know what to do with it. I saw the connection. But then I went to internet and I found this brilliant, it's called Yotish or something, astrologist. And this guy is specializing in things that he looks at your chart, you told him what you want, and he merges this, what you want, with this chart, and he tells you something which is called planetary mantra adjustment. I don't know what the hell it is, but he makes some kind of connections, and he tells you repeat this mantra this amount of times. So I did it, and lo and behold, after a certain period of time, I was I mean, this Mercury thing and the moon thing just went away. Wow, I was amazed and said there's something to there. So I went and joined the meditation group where they go mantras. And that's led by a guy, which is now my guru, who is disciple of an Indian teacher called Amma. All they do is just sing songs in the mantra form. It is so fucking powerful that I was hooked again. And this guy actually told me only 3 things. And I was totally cured. 3 things, and I'm cured. I couldn't believe this shit. And it was a bizarre thing, like focus your attention on a belly button. I don't know why I have to focus my connection on the belly button. I don't know to understand. But what I understood, that if you meet a guy who knows what the hell he is talking about and doing about, you better listen to him. So I, listened to him, focus on my navel, and I didn't have my psychology problems. Then after a while that didn't work, and I came back to him and he said me another bizarre thing. Focused on the belly button, but 2 centimeters below it. Why? I have no idea. But when I did it, it worked again. Okay, and after a while it worked a bit worse, and then he told me, do Shivambu. What the hell is that thing? You drink your own urine. Oh, I thought, well, this guy is totally crazy. I have to drink my own urine. What the hell is that? But then something told me, you better listen, fool, because he knows what he's talking about. So I went home and sipped a little bit, and I almost threw up because I was dirty inside. It took me 3 days to get used to it. But then I noticed a beautiful, beautiful effects on my body on that. So I went on the internet and I found this document called Damar Tantra, something Indian people wrote 5,000 years ago, where they have a technology how to use this thing. I studied that, and then I went to the internet again and found a guy, American guy, who was terminally ill by some kind of incurable illness, and was cured by his drinking his pee. And then he wrote a book about it. Once I saw how the hell this is powerful, then I started doing it. Then there is another guy who is saying combine this but with distilled water. Well, everybody who is normal don't drink distilled water because apparently it is destroying the minerals in your body. But misconception. It actually helps your body. So I did this for only 10 days. Within 10 days, I lost about 10% of my weight, but it was a detoxification process, which actually I lost 10% of the toxins of my body. I didn't know I'm that dirty. Then I changed what I eat and I have a new body now. And as a test, I am going to run a marathon in a week from now. And only I do is I drink my own urine. But I combine this with this, what I call TRECENA methodology, where you hook yourself with everything which is freely available to you. And this is sun, air, magnetic field, your own brain, your emotions. And I'm going to write a video, or actually I'm going to run the whole thing. A marathon is 26 miles. And I'm going to test my sonata breathing exercise, because I find out that if you control your breathing, position of your eyes, use the TRECENA conscious decision making with clean language process, you can master your body. And when you can master your body, you can master your mind. And when you can master your mind and body, you make a connection with the soul. And when you have these 3 connections, then you can master the things around you. And when you, on top of that, put this Neville thing with imaginations, you are fucking doing what the hell you want. So I was playing with this, and in a week time, I won a lottery. My daughter was in Paris for some kind of interview and she lost a laptop there. She called me, I make this thing, TRECENA thing with imaginations, and within, like, I don't know, he told me this in the evening, and I did this revision thing on Nikola's board. Some people responded there, and after 2 hours after this revision thing, she got the laptop. Well, now listen to this. She lost the laptop in a taxi in the middle of Paris, which is like 10 million people. She lives in a city called Reims, and the city of Reims is 100 kilometers out of the Paris. And for some reason, this taxi driver drove 100 kilometers from Paris to my daughter to give her laptop and then go back to Paris. Only because I did revision request, but I use my, or actually this not mine, it's not mine, TRECENA Art of Conscious Decisions within the context of the Neville imagination thing. And I hooked myself to the energy field as I just described you. I used my breathing, my urine, and everything. And it worked like a charm. The same day, I won a lottery ticket with no work at all. A lottery ticket, I forgot about it. So I had a ticket, I forgot about it, I was not attached, and boom, it came the same day. The same fucking day, I had also a parking ticket. And I did the revision request, and I imagined myself, I want my parking ticket dismissed. So the parking ticket was dismissed, exactly as I wanted. However, I had to pay administrative fee for that. So I was kind of pissed off. Why I paid this fee? Unless I came back and actually look at the board, and I was not precise in my definition of what I really want. I want ticket dismissed, but I didn't specify how I want it dismissed. I forgot to say I want the ticket dismissed and I don't want anything to pay. Because I was not precise, I got what I want. I got imprecise results. That's similar to this Neville story when he was in the army and then he wanted to be discharged. But he was specific, he was smarter than me. He wanted to be honorably discharged. And he was honorably discharged. It was improbable, but possible. And he was specific, and then he did his thing because he was doing all these steps and repeating the thing for a week or 2 weeks, and then it went. The conclusion is, if you want to be specific and successful in the life, you have to have a methodology which is detailed, repeatable, and easy explainable to anybody else. The more you understand your process, the better. So I took this approach, and then I went far further and find out if the planets can have an influence on these things, what is the best calendars I can use to profit from that? And I analyzed 3 different calendars, and I found the one which works as a charm. So I put all this together, and it all fucking works. I mean, once I saw the change on Nikola, I mean, you should have seen this process. When we started, this guy was like a monkey. Okay, he didn't look at me. He was actually rude. You know, we have a video call, and he doesn't fucking look at the phone. Okay, so I'm watching his light bulb like this. Okay, then he goes eating. His girlfriend calls, he interrupts my call, he speaks with his girlfriend, then his father goes. He do everything, but not what he's supposed to be doing. But once we reached a certain amount of iterations in this, he totally changed. He totally, unbelievable. Once we passed this special point, and then it's like he was hypnotized all his life. Before, he had all these elements of what he has to do, but he was doing the right things in the fucking wrong time. And he was hurting himself in every possible way. Like, he used marijuana and smoking, but in such a way that he was actually making his medical condition worse. Once we do this cleaning thing, everything aligns in your process because you engage your natural healing abilities, and it changes like this. So, and then what actually happened, actually, that my energy and his energy are kind of like connected. So whatever I do, he feeds from me. Whatever he do, he feeds from him. I feed from him, he feeds from me. It's only two people, okay? All we need is a certain number of people, and you pass this critical point, and you have the same effect. I mean, you have a certain amount of these questions to pass this special point when you know who you are. And because everything is a fractal, and if you don't know what a fractal is, you better find out. Search on the internet what fractal is. Fractal is something which is scalable and has the same properties, but it's similar, it's not the same. Like for instance, the universe and the man is a fractal, because whatever you can find in the universe, you can find in a man. Well, now, the man and the cell of the body is also fractal. Whatever you can find in a man, it's in the cell, but the man is a connection of a cell, plus other things like bacteria or whatever. Now, if you know this, all you need to do is actually have a technology, repeatable technology, certain number of steps, to consciously put attentions to the certain places in your body, and then you master your cells. Once you master your cells, then you master your body. Once you master your body, then you master a magnetic field around you. Once you master a magnetic field around you consciously, then you put your Neville stuff on top of it, and you manifest what you want. It's a piece of cake. So I am so excited. Only desire in my life is that I spread this thing to a maximum amount of people in a minimum amount of time. I want to achieve, actually not I want, this is old trap. If I say I want, I go to this left-hand mind, in which implies that I don't have it. I am a person who is making happy 1 million people by the end of the year, and only those people who are willing to pass through this process. I am making these people happy in a such way that I put my knowledge on the table, and they put their talent on the table. I want to do this full time, and if those people do this, if we do these transactions, you support me, I help you, you will be able to do what I do in no time, the most 260 days, because this is 260 days is the time necessary to pass what is called one Tzolk'in cycle. It's a calendar, okay? There are 3 different types of calendar. I combine them together, and you do this and you'll be amazed. But, I mean, don't believe me a thing, okay? Don't believe me a thing. Please try, okay? Try. If you like it, join it. If you don't like it, forget it. There are different levels of doing these things, and I can share with you free information that will like triple your if you want your attractions possibilities, if you do the steps, okay? But you have to try it. And because I spent 13 years of developing it, I have this idea to patent this and apply this to businesses, to schools, to look at this. I have a yoga class. I have a lady who has an autistic child, and this autistic child cannot speak to her, and this autistic child won't allow her mother to hug her. I mean, hug him. It's a male. What all I had to do is to find something which is called his cosmic signature. Because I know his cosmic signature, and I know his cosmic signature of his mom and my own. I do just simple geometrical, algebraic calculations to calculate which mantra, which sound I have to use him. I sing him his sound like an Indian mantra, but I add my natural emotion with this, and within 10 minutes he hugged me and we danced. And I saw this guy first times in my life. Her mother, his mother, couldn't believe this thing. But when I told her that she has to do certain things, she was not ready to do this, and we stopped. The possibilities of these things are endless. I mean, you can speak with autistic child just by calculating 3 numbers and singing a sound. I mean, what if I share this knowledge to this autistic community? Wouldn't that make a difference? Or let's say somebody like me, I had this bipolar disorder thing. I spent since 2007, now it's 2017, 10 years trying to cure myself, only that my guru, who knows mantras and meditations, healed me if I correct 3 things in my behavior. Well, and I'm healthy. Then I go on his shoulders and I help Nikola ground himself from his conditions, which he was suffering from, 2012 or something, 5 years. Within an hour. And I do this alone. What we can do together if we join forces? I mean, come on, fucking try it. I mean, join this group, share this knowledge. I would like to ask you, go have a session with me. I'll do it with you. And if you like it, continue. But I won't do it for free because it's fucking technology. Okay? It's awesome. Please try. I would like to have, and I'm having in my mind, team of 260 people who can actually manipulate the magnetic field of the Earth with me, like an engine. And you can go on this engine, and on top of this thing, you can manifest what you like. It's actually, I got inspired by Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla is the greatest inventor of all time. It's my hero. And I spent hours, days, looking at his patents. And I found this, something which is called a Radcliffe Tower, and he had this thing where he was sending wirelessly energy. And using this fractal theory, once I know that everything is a fractal, and I developed this TRECENA method, and there is a TRECENA thinking, TRECENA feeling, TRECENA analysis, TRECENA, everything is in TRECENA. Everything is art of conscious living, art of conscious decision making. Once I teach you how to do that, you can apply this thing to anything. You don't have to apply this thing as I, because I'm kind of a guy. I like yoga, I like qigong, I like running, I like improving these things. I'm kind of a yogi, but I live in Prague. Okay, you don't have to do this. Let's say that you are like Wanda. Okay, Wanda likes to play with the weather. Okay, she does this for 20 years, and she has this group. Okay, if she learns just 3 things from me, she can make a network of people, put them all over the world, and have some kind of a service that she can, for instance, have a business to take care of the farmers' fields. If it's a drought, she puts rain there. If it's too cold, she changes the weather, and she can charge for that. Why not? I mean, okay, now she has a group, and she earns no money. Okay, and then for another applications, there is this beautiful Indian lady in the group. She has this manifestation site about the money thing. When you look at her Facebook page, she has a Krishna. I don't know your name. I'm sorry. She has a Krishna over there, and then she has this beautiful face with the 3rd eye dot there and jewelry and everything. You can feel the love. You can feel the love. She has the course, which is long 30 days, and starts on some kind of a date. Once I compare this with my calendar, if he changed only 2 things, she make her course be long 22 days instead of 30, and she moves the starting day of her course would be like 10 times more effective if she used TRECENA timing technology. Okay, and then Then she can, for instance, configure this, that she would like make this freely available. But when she has this, maybe she can charge like $1 per day or something. And she has 800 subscribers, and she can have a passive income of $800, which she can use to help other people. So, I mean, you can play with this thing. There's, I don't know what to say, but please try. Please talk to Nikola, join the page. I'm going to do all these videos. It's all bumble jumble because I'm too excited. I'm too excited, and you know, I just want to play with these things, share these things. I don't want to do anything else, and I can't do this alone. Okay, and you know. Anyhow, this is what I had to say. See you. I'm going to run now.